Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we have some very important news to talk about on our favorite cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, because as you guys know, we have been following the TD Sequential on Bitcoin over the last several days, and unfortunately, Bitcoin is rallying. I bet you never expected me to say that, but I did. And in fact, guys, in this video, I'm going to be laying out exactly why I think Bitcoin is not only pumping about $100, but I'm going to be laying out and explaining why I believe that a major breakout is coming to Bitcoin in the next couple of days, maybe even before this video goes out. If you take a look at the Ethereum chart right now, what you're going to notice is that Ethereum has actually just broken out of the mirror consolidation pattern that it is in that looks very, very similar to the one that Bitcoin is in. Ethereum has been leading the altcoin market and actually leading Bitcoin by a couple of days, so now we have to ask ourselves the question, is Bitcoin about to have a big rally in exactly the same way that Ethereum is? After Ethereum breaking out and rallying 8% today, despite overbought RSI, we really have to ask ourselves, is the same thing about to happen to Bitcoin? And if so, where are we heading to? Guys, we're going to be diving into all of that in today's video, and I think you're going to get a lot of value out of today's video. If you do, as always, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for the 14,000 views yesterday and the 1,400 likes, guys, and I loved reading the 435 comments. It's insane how much engagement these videos get nowadays. But without much further ado, guys, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. You know, speaking of diving right on into it, this is going to be a pain because I'm going to have to find this video, but when I was in Tennessee about a month ago, we went to a place called Midnight Hole, which was a little river coming out of the North Carolina Smoky Mountains, actually it was the Appalachian Mountains, and on this river there was about a 15-foot waterfall and a massive rock, and everybody was jumping off of it and doing flips, and I dove in and did the worst belly flop ever. I'm telling this story on myself. It was bad. I landed in that ice cold water and I thought I'd broken my nose. It was awful. There's a video of it somewhere. If I can find it, I'll put it on screen. If I can't, you're just going to have to believe me that I embarrassed the hell out of myself. It was fun. But guys, it's really hard. You know, it's hard to jump off a cliff when you can't see. I hate glasses. I need LASIK. Anyway, that's completely off topic. Let's get back onto the chart. Guys, I think you'll understand my concern here with Bitcoin when we look at the daily chart and we see that the TD Sequential is not resetting, but instead giving us a warning color flash here, this kind of hot pink color, whatever color that is. I'm colorblind. Whatever color that is right there is the warning that TD Sequential gives you when you are getting really, really, really overextended. That's TD Sequential's way of saying, hey, have a correction, damn it. What are you doing with your life? You're being stupid. Go to college. We saw the exact same thing happen right here back on the 5th of May, and then Bitcoin went overextended for 4 days, and then eventually we did have about a 20% correction, if I do remember correctly. Guys, I'm expecting that the same thing's going to happen here on Bitcoin. It really does look like we're about to have a big breakout here, and I'm going to explain why. With Bitcoin flagging out here, many times the direction of the flag is going to tell you a lot. In this case, Bitcoin's flag is trending to the upside, which is generally going to mean that we're going to break to the upside. Now, this is on the Coinbase chart, as you can see, but if you look over on the Bitfinex chart, down on the hourly, this actually looks a lot more like an ascending triangle pattern rather than a symmetrical triangle pattern, and that makes a lot of sense, actually, because Bitcoin is trading as such. Bitcoin has rallied several $100s overnight, and it would make sense that Bitcoin is to break bullish here, even in spite of the overextended RSI and the overextended Stochh RSI and everything else, including the 9 flash on the TD Sequential. But take notice, if Bitcoin does break out here, not only are we ignoring a daily chart TD Sequential 9 flash, we're also ignoring a 9 flash on the hourly chart. As you can see right here, we've had a 9 flash here at around 800 hours UTC -4, which is the eastern coast where I live. Bitcoin had that 9 flash. We pulled back, but not enough to reset it, and Bitcoin is in defiance of it down on the hourly chart as well. Notice what happened over here when Bitcoin ignored it for more than 3 candlesticks. We eventually had that correction. And guys, I want you to take notice over on Ethereum also. Ethereum is doing the exact same thing. We had a 9 flash, but we're breaking bullish anyway. Ethereum, I believe, is leading the market. Guys, as you can see, if we sort by change over the last 24 hours, Ethereum is actually the 6th largest gainer while being the 2nd largest coin by market cap. You don't see that happen a lot. Ethereum is up 8% in the last 24 hours. And as I've said, Ethereum has been leading the way for Bitcoin lately. I personally believe that this candlestick, today's candlestick, is going to break out at the very latest tomorrow's candlestick. Bitcoin is inevitably going to have a break of this consolidation pattern in some way, and it just does not make any sense whatsoever that it breaks to the downside, even with the TD Sequential, because the TD Sequential is telling the bears what to do, but notice, the bears are not listening. We've got a school teacher telling the kids, don't play on that, you're going to break your neck, and the kids are like, forget you, teach, I'm going to go play on this, like, I don't know, propane tank and break my neck. That's what Bitcoin's doing right now. It's being that one kid from first grade on the playground. That's what Bitcoin's doing, and Ethereum is antagonizing it. Ethereum's like the older third grader that's giving them ideas. I don't know where I'm going with this analogy, but I think you get the point. Bitcoin should not be breaking out right now. Bitcoin should be consolidating. Bitcoin should be locking in gains, but you guys by now know the strengths and the weaknesses of the bulls, and you know their limitations, and you know how easily persuaded they are when they've been suppressed for the last 3 months. And you know as well as I do that Bitcoin is looking pretty bullish right now, even in spite of the overextension on 9flash and RSI. So what happens from here, you might ask? Well, I think Bitcoin follows Ethereum. I think Bitcoin breaks to the upside, breaks out, and then goes exactly where we talked about it going in the last several videos, guys. I have talked about for the last 3 to 4 videos that Bitcoin is going to break bullish here. It's going to move into this zone of resistance between 11.7 and 12.1, and if Bitcoin breaks through this, holy cow, are we straight up ignoring our technicals, and Bitcoin's probably going to have a big crash to follow that. I do think that Bitcoin is going to do this. We're going to break bullish here. We're going to move into that zone of resistance. We're going to reject from it. And then we're going to have a flag that is slightly pointing to the downside. Now, I might be wrong on that. That's a very specific prediction. So understand the more specific you make a prediction, the lower the chance is that that exact prediction happens. But at the very least, I do foresee Bitcoin breaking north here. And that does mean that there is a trade to be made. Although I'd be careful of staying in a trade for too long because, as we said, Bitcoin is ignoring the teacher, and the teacher's marching on over across the mulch and saying, "What are you doing? You need to get back into class because it's lunchtime no more, and you need to come in and learn your ABCs." That's what she's saying. So the teacher's coming. Just make sure that make sure you lock in your profits before she gets here. Pretty much. Yeah. You know what the teacher is? You know what the teacher is? Watch this. Watch this. She's the boss lady. Ooh, they reserve a special spot in hell for people that make puns like that. I'm screwed. Anyway, guys, that's my take on that. Let's look at some more technicals, though, so that you have a little bit more context about what's going on. One thing that I want to bring to your attention, but that I can't really fit into the topic of today's video, is Google Trends. As you guys will notice, Bitcoin's search volume on Google Trends has shot up immediately to 94 is the prediction. This will be closing tomorrow, so we will find out pretty soon if this is accurate. If, based on the movement that we've already seen, Bitcoin rallies to 94 on Google search volume, that's about to go a lot higher. It's probably going to go past 100. If it goes past 100, that means that we will have the most search interest on the key search term Bitcoin that we've had in the last 12 months. Pretty big deal. And guys, if you look at the last 5 years, you'll realize there's a lot more room to run. That's 94 down on the last years, but it's only 13 compared to 2017, guys. During 2017, the search interest for Bitcoin moonshotted. Straight up went straight to the moon. When Bitcoin hit $13,000, Bitcoin rallied only to 22 on Google Trends. What this means to me is that since we're rallying so far, so fast on the chart and on Google Trends, I think that the top of this rally is going to be quite a bit higher than 13.7. I'd love to hear your opinions on that in the comment section down below because we're already so much more bullish than we ever have been at this price level. I've never seen Bitcoin be this active at this altitude. That is very exciting. And the very last thing I really want to bring to your attention is that even though volume is declining, because yes, we are in a consolidation pattern, it is still quite tall. Bitcoin has seen a significant amount of volume lately. As you can see, the largest candlestick that we've seen since June the 2nd. And even then, over the last several months, there's only a few candlesticks that really jump on top of it. Guys, at the end of the day, Bitcoin looks very bullish. We're going places, but mark my words, we are going to need some kind of correction to reset that TD Sequential relatively soon. It's very rare that Bitcoin goes more than 3 or 4 days of that color change. You know how we're like hot pink right now because, you know, I don't know, confused kindergartner? I don't know. You know how we're hot pink. That is going to continue to change, and Bitcoin is not going to go very far without that having a correction. Historically speaking, it never happens. As we can see here, Bitcoin went into this colored territory, and very soon we did finally have that correction. Same thing up here, colored territory correction. Same thing right here, colored territory correction. If you look out through the history of Bitcoin, there is almost invariably a pullback within 8 to 9 days at the very most of the 9flash. So be expecting that because it is coming in the next 4 to 5 days, probably sooner than that. Anyway, guys, that's my take for today's video. I do believe that Bitcoin's about to have a breakout, and I do believe there's a trade to be made. But remember what we talked about in yesterday's video. Be careful of entering a trade before the direction of the breakout has actually been confirmed because we don't know that Bitcoin's going to break to the upside. Bitcoin might still crash. We think it's going to break to the upside, but what do we know? We're just humans. We don't know what the gods of Bitcoin are doing, so be careful with your investments. Try not to lose too much because at the end of the day, minimizing your risk is one of the greatest ways to maximize your reward. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Before I go, though, I do want to mention that this video is sponsored by the Bybit referral link down below in the description. If you guys are going to be signing up and doing leverage trading, which makes sure that you have a lot of experience in markets, make sure you're profitable on no leverage over on Binance or whatever before you start trading futures and leverage. and margin. But if you are going to do that, then you can use the Bybit referral link down below. Bybit, in my opinion, is the best leverage exchange in the market, and if you use that link, you're going to be helping to support this channel, and I would very much appreciate that at no extra cost to yourself. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it out for today's video. Before I go, though, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.